Cheers to everyone for watching. My name is Mitchell of the Stereo Picture Society. This is a channel where I review Canadian albums, and today I'm going to be reviewing the new album from Black Mountain called Destroyer. Black Mountain are a 5-piece psych rock outfit from Vancouver, BC. This is their 5th record. And over the course of their career, they had fused their psych rock roots with acoustic guitars, some lo-fi material, but mostly relying on the duality and harmonies between frontman Stephen McBean and frontwoman Amber Weber's voices. Now more than ever, Black Mountain's psych rock sound is influenced by heavy metal. I hear a lot of Black Sabbath, Motorhead, Iron Maiden, White Zombie on this thing. But it's the grooves, distortion, and psychedelia that I see from those artists that are key influences on this record here. I believe the artistic intent of this album was primarily from Stephen McBean, who had stated that this is the first time in his life where he's licensed to drive a car. So he had made this album and wrote a batch of songs about that experience. However, most of the songs on this album don't live up to that artistic intent, which leaves some of the lyrical narratives on this album kind of vague and a little bit disconnected. The only thing they seem to be connected by is the pure psychedelia and distortion of guitars and keyboards that we hear throughout this album. The key motor track on this album is obviously the track License to Drive. I love all the vocal chanting on this track and the rhythm section just chugging away. I thought the lyrical motif of the spirit wheel and being close to the edge would have been a cool thing to experiment lyrically with on the album. There's even an overture to License to Drive, one track called Close to the Edge that appears as a third track. And I think it would have been interesting considering that Black Mountain has written songs that are 7, 8, 9 minutes in length, to have this be a key center composition and have Close to the Edge be combined with this License to Drive song. That would have been cool to see, but alas we don't get that. The song Boogie Lover is another favorite of mine on this album. It's definitely grown on me the more that I listen to it, and I like Amber's opening and closing lines on this track. It definitely makes the track feel more cohesive with the start and finish being the same. This is a very good track to represent the album as well. The album is very riff heavy and full of distortion and many keyboards. But I think on this track more than the others, there's a lot of space for instruments to breathe, especially concerning the drums. It also shows a lot of similarity to past Black Mountain songs because of those songs being very riff heavy as well. I like the lyrical themes on the song High Rise. Stephen is primarily relating high-rise skyscrapers and office buildings to the Tower of Babel, almost. The loneliest cock in the sky. Into heaven! Into heaven! But other than those favorite parts, the rest of the album just really paled in comparison to the others. Primarily because I figure the keyboard and the wall of guitars that are on this are very distorted and don't leave a lot of space for pretty much anything. The album opener, Future Shade, has Amber and Stephen kind of singing in unison, but they didn't sound together at all, and there was very limited clarity on their vocals. The next track, Horns Arising, had some vocoder robotic singing, which I guess was cool and psychedelic at first glance. And it also seemed pretty rushed for a Black Mountain song. I wish that they could have flexed this out and been more, I guess, lead the rhythm section and the sonic experimentation to build up throughout the song a little bit more. Even though it's a 6-minute song, I wish it was a little bit longer still. Also the drumming on this track, as well as brief moments throughout the album. Whenever the drums are doing some fills, it just sounds a little bit off. It sounds kind of rushed and unpolished. I wish that the low range, especially for the drums and for the bass, just sounded punchier and just sounded louder throughout the mix. It seems like there was a lot of mids throughout this that could have been pressed down just a little bit, and I think the mixing as a whole could have been worked on a lot more. I think there were a handful of moments where the band could have experimented in sampling, especially on that overture Close to the Edge. And there's also the track Pretty Little Lazies, which is this 4-part, 4-minute sonic thing. It's pretty acoustic based for the most part, but then this third part of this track has drums just rushing and shuffling. It's really choppy. There's some spoken word going on throughout it too. It just seemed like there was a lot of ideas that they couldn't really sit down and stick to with this song. Then there's the final track, FD72, which I think is based off of some kind of machine or automobile part. Whatever it is, the song sounded really washy for me. I think it would have been a good opportunity for Amber and Steven to pair up on some epic harmonies to close out the album here too, but they passed on that in favor of pretty much every instrument in the band competing for attention on here. The verses throughout this track has every instrument going at like full dynamic, full force, not giving each other space to work, making for a washy, less dynamic, kind of gridded out closer for this album. Overall, I didn't get what I wanted for this being a psych rock record. I wish for more unity and equity with the vocals on this. I wish to hear more Amber. I also wish for Black Mountain to bring back some more elements of their organic production. Hearing videos of them playing live sound great, and I wish that there were more elements of that being put into it. The instrumentation just needs to sound more live! It needs to sound like Frankenstein's monster just rising from a bubbling pool of acid. And there are a lot of ways that the production could have made that happen, but had just missed the mark. Still, if you're looking to hear some Canadian takes on psych rock, I would recommend this album just for a pass through. If you're looking for a throwback to the 70s and 80s heavy metal, then I would recommend it for you too. I know this band can do better, and I'm looking forward to the next project that they put out, but for now, I'm feeling like a decent to strong 4 on this album. I don't think I'll listen to it all the way through again. So let me know your thoughts on the album. Did you not agree with me? Did you agree? Hit the like if you liked this thing. Be sure to subscribe for more content on Canadian albums and share this with your fellow music geeks. My name is Mitchell, and cheers again for watching. Later. Hey guys, just an addendum to this video. After doing my editing, I realized that Amber isn't even in the band anymore. This is the first album to feature a singer named Rachel. There's also a new drummer in the band as well, so I want to add that in there. My opinions, though, on the album still stand. I just think there should be more unity within it, and I think it would be cool to hear their growing period with Rachel and new drummer Adam. Be kind of cool. My opinions still stand. I apologize for the mistake that I made. I should have done more research. I don't know how that passed by me. And also, what was up with that auto light stuff that happened with my phone? I hope to get rid of that in the future. So cheers again for watching. I apologize for my mistakes, and I'll see you in the next video. Later.